What do you see when you look around your classroom? You may be surprised to learn that today, 1 out of every 150 American children is diagnosed with autism. Hi, I'm Nicole Robinson. Autism spectrum disorders are the fastest growing serious developmental disorders in the U.S. There's a lot we don't know about autism, but one undisputed fact is that early intervention can make a real difference in the lives of both the children at risk and their families. The key? Early detection, and that's where you come in. When you think a child has a developmental delay, speak up. You're in a great position to help that family.
My name is Israel Marcus.
Israel and Eric, they're fun, they're loving, they're smart. Israel has been diagnosed with autism. It's on the mild side of the spectrum. We realized that something was wrong when Israel was going to a daycare. And the director called me one day and said that she couldn't keep my son at her daycare anymore because something was wrong with him. When the daycare director called me, I was so angry. She actually said he's not normal compared to the other children, but that word normal to me was very hurtful because this is my first child, and to me he was very normal.
There are definitely techniques that teachers can use to approach this topic in the best way with parents. Recently, I brought our camera crew to a training workshop where teachers just like you were preparing to have this conversation.
What we're going to do is try to just give you a few good strategies on how to talk to a parent about the possibility that their child might have a developmental delay or an autism spectrum disorder.
The biggest challenge and the thing that I stay up at night and worry about is having to speak to parents about these types of things.
Have any of you ever had that opportunity to talk to a parent? How'd it go?
It actually went very well because we handled it through language. It seems like parents are a little more able to handle it if you talk about the language skills. That's what we found.
With your partners, look at what would be a characteristic of a child that would be in your class or at your school that could possibly be an early sign of autism spectrum disorder.
Okay, we were just talking about the children, but we were talking repetitive, like they repeat doing same action again and again. So, like she was talking, there's a child like driving the fire trucks, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth 500 times.
This child tends to want to sit on one letter, and he gets very frustrated if another person sits on the letter and having hand movements at times when he's sitting in the circle time.
I also observed the flapping of the hands type thing, but this child also, if you tried to talk to him, would become like a turtle. He would just hide, and he did not want to communicate at all. He didn't play with other children.
I had a child that could not ask any questions at all. He could give us short sentences, but he could not answer a question, and he couldn't ask any question.
Not being able to answer or ask who, what, why, where questions at a time when other children in your class could be a sign. Why we need to then make sure that they go to have a screening, a developmental screening.
As a teacher, you're tuned in to typical preschool age behavior. When a child acts in an unusual way on a regular basis or isn't meeting typical milestones, take notice, trust your instinct, and prepare to act. You can make a difference.
I am Aidan Campbell, and I'm 5 years old.
Aidan is the love of my life. You're my best friend.
And I'm like your best friend.
When Aidan was 3 years old, we signed him up for preschool at the Park District in our area.
Is it cloudy today?
Yeah!
He was having difficulty sitting with the class. He would twirl around. We might be doing numbers and he was doing the alphabet. He was doing his own little thing. He did not associate with the other children.
She first said that Aidan's skills are not at where a typical boy that is 3 years old should be.
Most autism spectrum disorders can be reliably diagnosed before age 3. While it's not your job to diagnose a child with autism, it's helpful to get familiar with the red flags so you can feel more confident when you talk with parents.
We took him to the pediatrician, and he said that it would be a good idea for Israel to have a developmental screening and possibly get him into the early intervention program.
When he first started, he had some pretty tough behavior, not a lot of language, a lot of echoing, a lot of aggression if he didn't want to do something, trouble transitioning.
Because its center is right.
There is a window of time with kids with autism to try to get in and teach them the social skills that other kids have that they're lacking, or to get them more language. Where would the Jack go?
J.
Right, Jay, good. We try to get them as much as we can in this little preschool time frame.
Noticing early warning signs, specifically if a child is not meeting typical developmental milestones. That's your indication you need to have a conversation with parents. You're familiar with the child, having closely observed his or her behavior. Use that as a focal point when you talk with parents.
We document everything that happens in the class that is out of the ordinary, and we discuss it with the parents on a daily or weekly basis. We do ask the parents to come in, and we did ask Mrs. Campbell to come in and observe and see the reaction that Aidan had to the other children.
To watch him go through that was very frustrating and heartbreaking.
What happened? Are you okay?
Because I didn't understand what was going on.
I asked her if she had talked to her physician and if he had noticed anything out of the ordinary. And then at that point is when I suggested that she have the screening.
I was very upset and hurt at what she was saying. I didn't know what could possibly be going on. I was terrified.
Before you raise the issue, think through the discussion in advance. Give thought to both how you will approach the parent and what words and tone you will use.
What kinds of things have you found work when you were talking to a parent about the possibility of a developmental delay in their child?
Remain very objective. This is what I observe, and pass no judgments, and also do a lot of listening.
Give them the positive information, and you also, I think you should show them the things that the child can do.
I understand you may not see some of these behaviors at home because this is a different setting, but this is what I see at school, and my concern is the way that it's going to impact his learning. And keep it real, like a partnership.
We're here to talk about Israel today, and he's been doing really, really well lately. I've always had these kind of conversations with the teams. I always start with the positives of what the child is doing. He has been doing really well. We just started working more closely on actually writing the letters, so not just telling them what is going on, but showing them examples or specific scenarios.
Before you actually sit down with a parent to talk with them, role play with your supervisor. Talk to your supervisor about how you would broach the subject with the parent, keeping in mind that this may be the very first time a parent has ever heard that there's an issue.
He likes the circle time, he likes to do the poems and the plays, but I have a concern regarding his speech.
It's like a ongoing, repetitive action that he does. Have you seen any of this at home?
By 4 years old, he really should be playing with other children a little bit more.
So you think there's a problem? I'm kind of scared.
The reason I'm bringing this up is because it's something that we can do something about.
Okay.
I would suggest maybe going back to the pediatrician and having him do a developmental screening on Connor. It's just where he's going to look to see if Connor is reaching those milestones.
This is a key. You're really trying to get early intervention to a child that needs help. And why is that? Because they're going to make more progress.
At the end of last year, we had a meeting with Mrs. Gingerich in regards to Aidan's development.
There you go.
I think communication is the number one skill to have as a teacher.
And most children his age could stop, and if I could say, we'll finish it later, they're fine with it. Mm-hmm. But for him, he could just have a meltdown.
Lots of phone calls, emails, so that when you do have a concern, they actually will listen because that trust is there. What we do is we build a tower of information, and once we get to the top of that tower, usually the parents will be the ones to look at you and say, what should I do?
She's recommended that we would see a developmental pediatrician and gave us some information in regards to getting that ball rolling.
We have a list of doctors that we could hand to them, and then the parent has to take it on their own initiative and do what they feel is best for their child.
I really appreciate you letting me know those things.
I know you do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Remember, you are not being asked to make a diagnosis. Your role is to encourage parents to talk to their child's doctor to get their child screened. Your state's early intervention program or local school district may also have additional screening resources. Parents don't need a doctor's referral to get these services.
I do view myself as a resource for families. My knowledge can help parents increase their knowledge.
Within the Latino community, there is not a lot of information about autism. A lot of Latinos think that this is something I have created, or I am not doing a good job as a parent. His preschool teacher has helped us so much.
I ride the bus to school.
She taught me how to give him a visual of what's coming up. That's very important for him, because otherwise his whole day goes, berserk.
Discovery Center is the ice. Early intervention is extremely important for learning a lot of things, the language development, the social interaction, the play skills. And what are you going to do in the Discovery Center?
They put ice off the ice.
He's made tremendous progress, I think, in his ability to communicate.
I got all these ice right now. I got these ice.
And being able to share and wait, interacting with his peers.
It's hard to describe how proud I am of Israel because he just has made so much progress, and it's amazing to see the difference that a couple years of school has made in his life.
I'm thankful for the daycare provider for getting this to my attention, getting me to realize there was a problem with my son. Now I think about it, and I actually think she did a favor for me and for my family.
Okay, dinosaur.
Teachers are in a great position to help families because they're a second pair of eyes. They've all helped me with my kids. There's nothing in this world that I could ever do to repay them. Everything that they've done for us. I mean, they're like my angels.
I feel very good about helping Aidan and his family.
I'm so thankful that these teachers took the time to really notice my child and inform me so that I could take the right steps to getting him the help that he needed. And they guided me along that way because I would have been lost. And now, look at him. He's going to be successful.
We've created a developmental milestone map to help you help parents navigate what is considered typical. Use the map to better understand and communicate with parents about potential developmental delays. This milestone map also includes additional resources for both you and parents to learn more. On the Autism Speaks website, you're going to find a video glossary that shows behaviors of children who have already been diagnosed with autism.
Where's his eyes?
They're shown in contrast with typical children's behavior.
Show me his eyes. That's right.
This is a fantastic resource for you and for parents because you can view side-by-side comparisons to better understand those warning signs. To learn more, be sure to visit autismspeaks.org and cdc.gov/actearly.
Listen to all